In this part, you will hear an interview from a podcast. For questions 21 to 25, listen and answer the questions. You do not need to write in full sentences. Questions 26 to 30 must be answered with a cross in a box. If you change your mind about an answer, put a line through the box and then mark your new answer with a cross. 1 mark will be awarded for each correct answer.
Hello, John. Thank you for coming to talk to me today.
Thank you, Nita. It's very nice to be here.
Now, you're going to tell me about the subject of your area of research, neologisms. Can you begin by explaining exactly what neologisms are?
Of course. Neologisms are simply new words that have entered a language. The term neologism comes from the Greek word neo, meaning new.
Like the character Neo from the film The Matrix. Any film fans listening should be familiar with that.
Yes, and also from the Greek logos, meaning word.
Aha, OK. You've been doing this research for over 10 years, right? You must really love your subject. So if I understand correctly, you're saying that new words just arrive sometimes. That's incredible. Where do these new words come from?
Well, that depends. There are many different reasons for new words appearing in our language. For example, if we think about the recent example of technology, there are lots of new developments and new gadgets appearing, and a lot of new words have emerged as a result of that.
Oh, like the iPad, you mean? Or Wi-Fi?
Exactly. And sometimes words that were already present in a language are combined or used in a new way, like waterbed, for example.
I see.
But we've also started using old words in new ways in English.
Oh, could you give me an example?
Take the word text, for example. A few decades ago, we used the word text as a noun, often meaning a book or an article. Now, though, we often also use it as a verb to talk about sending a message on our mobiles, saying, I'll text you later, or I'll message you.
Aha, that's true. And are all of these new words, or neologisms, I should say, linked to new technology?
Not at all. There are words such as sellotape or Kleenex that were originally brand names, but over time have come to be used more generally. Now, these examples are widely used with a wider meaning. When we use the word sellotape to talk about any kind of sticky tape. When we talk about Kleenex, we often mean any kind of disposable tissue, not just the ones with that brand name.
Right. And how else do new words come into our language?
Well, words can get blended together.
Blended?
Yes, for example, the word motel is a blend or a combination of the words motorway and hotel and has a new meaning. I find these words quite fascinating.
Oh, I can think of another example. Brunch, a blend of breakfast and lunch, one of my favourite meals.
Yes, I think you get the idea.
So your job is to study all of this and write about it. I'm really envious.
I know. I'm really lucky to have work that I enjoy so much. It feels like there's always so much to learn.
I can see why. And do you think it's advantageous to have these new words appearing in our vocabulary all the time?
Yes, of course. I'm a linguist. Words represent meanings, objects, or ideas. If something new appears, we need to have the language to talk about it.
I see. And are there any other ways that new words enter a language, apart from the ones you've mentioned so far?
Well, words travel. A lot of words that are now in the English language had their origin in other countries and vice versa. Words like café, for example, which comes from French, and algebra was originally an Arabic word.
Fascinating. Is this a recent phenomenon?
Not at all. Even in very early times and throughout history, movements in population meant that language evolved. In recent years, though, the influence of media, and especially social media, has made a tremendous impact. Young people often create words to use between themselves, or use old words in new ways. Do you realise that 50 years ago, cool only referred to temperature, or to tone of voice. Then, young people started using it to also mean something really great. This word is used everywhere now. With language, everything is shifting all the time, which is one of the reasons why studying it is so fascinating. It's full of uncertainty and creativity.
So some words are new and some words are changing their meaning. How about words that disappear? Do some words also die out?
Indeed they do. There are words that have almost entirely died out, called obsolete words. One example in English is brabble, which means to argue loudly about something that isn't important. I don't think anyone uses this word anymore. In old literature, it's possible to find examples of words that aren't used in conversation nowadays. For example, words like thou and thee meaning you. These are known as archaic words.
I suppose this concept of words changing is a bit like what happens with wildlife and nature. Some species are flourishing, some we have preserved in zoos and conservation areas, some are very vulnerable, and others, like the dodo, have become extinct.
That's a very good analogy, Nita.
An interesting note to end on. Thank you for talking to me today, John. I found it really fascinating.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it too.